Today's a good day to look at some vicious and deadly Amazon weapons that you can get right now without needing a license. Let's just say that our shopping cart is filled with enough blades, bullets, and arrows to survive the next zombie apocalypse. Or the fool that thought it was a good idea to break into your house. Let's get into all of the fun, utterly devastating, and sometimes even outrageous weapons, designed to be as deadly as any gunpowder firearm is, without all the red tape that comes with guns. Let's get into it. Number 6. Badlands Camo Blowgun. Jumping into a tiny little monstrosity designed for optimal pain, and if you aim right, a jugular vein or an eyeball. The mighty little blowgun was once fashioned from hollow reeds and thin projectiles dipped in venomous toad excretions. But today you have a comfy rubber mouthpiece and better engineering that'll make that needle fly 3 times farther than even the best set of lungs could have projected it 100 years ago. And don't underestimate this little thing. It's light, inconspicuous, and with a little practice, yes, it's totally deadly, or at least very blinding. Now, unfortunately, they don't sell them with a vial of poison, so you'll have to settle for a 4 to 6 inch needle that'll embed itself all the way down to the bone. Personally, our pick is the Badlands Camo 12-inch 50 caliber blowgun, available for under $40. It can reach speeds of up to 300 feet per second. That's comparable to some air rifles. Can you imagine a needle of that size sticking out of your eye? You can have your pick of sizes, the longest is 48 inches, but we like the 12-inch because it fits so well in the hand while you're on the move, without encumbering your maneuverability. Not to mention giving you an element of surprise when the other guy had no idea where the 3-inch needle sticking out of his neck came from. Is it the most lethal of all the weapons on our list? Probably not, but you can't deny that it's probably the coolest of them all. Number 5. Mad Saber Ballistic Dart Launcher. Ballistic dart launchers are awesome. You can get a wide range of velocity speeds in both wood and steel darts for relatively cheap, but for the most part, they aren't very accurate or powerful enough to break the skin. But then came Mad Saber's missile launcher, and the game changed completely. These 2-inch darts are made of stainless steel, and they'll impale into a 2x4 from 20 feet away. That's very impressive for a launcher that's no bigger than your average stun gun. If it just torpedoed one missile at a time, we wouldn't have been all that impressed. But this $30 gem can shoot out 5 missiles simultaneously. If you aim this at someone's face and let fly, you're going to take out an eye, maybe both, and if you get lucky, you can even strike the neck. Our only drawback is the rubber on the steel darts they're issued with. But if you slip the rubber off the tips the moment you take it out of its packaging, you'll have a 5-pronged knife that flies fast enough to kill a New York rat and blind a robbing human vermin too. Number 4. Kukri Knife. Kukri knives date back to the 7th century around Nepal. Think a Grimm's Reaper sickle scaled down to a curved blade that can fit into the hand. We'll be having a lot of fun with some pretty lethal and sometimes outrageous weapons in this video, but the kukri is actually a blade that we'd advise anyone who's interested in prepping and self-defense to get. It's as much a deadly weapon as it is a tool for survival. Other than the trusty multi-tool, there aren't many other blades that can compare in usefulness both on the battlefield and off as the kukri. We really like the K-Bar 2's version of the kukri. This is because of the materials that they use and the comfortable weight it has in the hand. The trick to any blade, from swords to pocket knives, is to look for blades that are made with carbon steel. Not only is it good quality steel, but it's easier for the novice to learn how to sharpen it themselves when the need arises. But we're not done with cool blades just yet. Let's move on to some serious swords for a second. Number 3. Katana. This is every gamer and anime fan's wet dream. A real-life Japanese-style katana. Is it practical? Absolutely not. Is it fun? Hell yes! For $400, you can get a high-quality carbon steel sword crafted with the same specifications and precision that katanas were made with hundreds of years ago. There is a little snag with getting a real katana online though. They're sold as collectible, so they won't arrive sharpened enough to slice through a guy's skull. But that can be done at any smithy that's in your area for relatively cheap. It just needs to be proper steel that can be worked into a sharpened blade made for slicing. And we're not kidding when we say that this can slice through a skull. These blades can and will cut through bone like butter if they're sharpened appropriately. Before we get into the items that require triggers to fire, let's just take a second to ask our viewers to hit that like button and to subscribe. The majority of our viewers aren't even subscribed yet, and it would be a real shame if you missed out on any of the fun stuff we have planned for you in future videos. All because you didn't get a notification, now wouldn't it? Weapons, survival, prepping, storage, self-defense. Here on Threat to Survival, we delve into every survivalist's favorite topics and discussions. With that said, let's get back to our podium winners for the day. Number 2. Ballista Bat Reverse Draw Compound Mini Crossbow. You just know we couldn't make a weapons list without having a crossbow listed somewhere in here. But the Ballista Bat's a little different than the kind we usually go for. The reality of crossbows is that the kind that has enough FPS to do any real damage are monstrous things to haul around. Crossbows in general are big, bulky, and not ideal for self-defense, especially when you need something quick, light, and relatively simple to load and use. Enter the feisty and deadly Ballista Bat. And we gotta say, the bat's where it's at, man. Shooting at 420 feet per second, it goes faster and harder than a lot of air guns. The pullback load action is easier and faster than most, and it already comes fitted with a scope. There will be practice arrows issued alongside the real hunting arrows when you buy it. But trust us when we say even the lighter weight practice arrows are just as deadly as the steel-tipped ones. But it's the versatility of this amazing little unit that really tickles our fancy. For something that'll kill a lynx if it's aimed well, you have a very deadly weapon for the absolute smallest size possible. It can fit inside your bug-out bag and carried in your hand at the ready without encumbering your movements. Small, tight spaces like inside your home would be nearly impossible to maneuver around. But the Bat solves this problem. It feels just like a pistol does, and it even has a pretty decent kickback when it's fired. There's nothing funny about being hit with these arrows. Hunting small game or defending yourself against two-legged predators. This is our favorite of all the weapons on this list today. And for $550, we say that's a damn sweet bargain for a unit this accurate and high quality. Number 1. Benjamin Bulldog Air Rifle. But we couldn't end off this list without mentioning the air rifles, now could we? The Bat won our favorite crossbow award, but the Benjamin Bulldog Air Rifle is up there for the air rifles too. It's modeled after a bullpup shotgun, and it loads, fires, and feels just like one. Except this .457 caliber shoots lead pellets, not shells, at a ridiculous velocity of 1,100 feet per second. Obviously, this is enough spice to kill a raccoon, a fox, or even coyotes. So yes, if you aim it well, it'll do enough damage to get a guy off his feet. But it's not just the speed and caliber that gets us excited. It's the fact that you can carry something that looks and sounds like one of the most frightening shotguns on the market when you cock this bad boy. That realistic factor is going to make even the toughest criminal soil himself when he hears that unmistakable sound of a shotgun loading. It's going to cost you $1,000. But given that you won't need a license to carry it and it looks like the real deal, we're not going to complain about the price. Honestly, we were a little surprised that it wasn't more expensive, considering the rave reviews and stellar quality that the Benjamins comes with. Maybe you want your weapon to be small and discreet, or maybe you want something that can protect you as well as be useful as possible outdoors. Or maybe the feel, trigger action, and deadly force of a firearm is what you need to give you the confidence and the means to protect yourself. But rest assured, we won't judge you if you get the katana for good measure just because it looks cool on the wall and makes you feel like a badass. Or just get all 5 of our top picks and cover all the bases in one clean sweep. No matter what you decide, there's no reason why any person on this planet shouldn't be able to defend himself and what's his. Don't put it off any longer. Arm yourself. Because eventually tomorrow's gonna come, and then you'll be staring that intruder in the face, and it'll be too late. Hey, make sure to like and subscribe for more content. This is Threat to Survival. Prepare today. Thrive tomorrow. Embrace the threat to survival.